Dale Jr. is going to play a big role in what could be a major turning point for NASCAR. His influence in the sport is massive, and when he talks, we listen. Now, a new name has entered the conversation, Cleetus McFarland. And he's not your typical race car driver, but that might be exactly what NASCAR needs. With millions of YouTube fans and a fresh approach to racing, he is bringing something new to the table. Could Dale Jr. be the key to helping Cleetus take the next big step in NASCAR? Let's find out. Cleetus McFarland has already made a big impact. He raced in the ARCA Menard Series at Daytona, and the numbers were huge. During the race, his in-car camera had between 60,000 and 70,000 people watching live on YouTube. That's unheard of for an ARCA race. The race itself brought in 1.16 million viewers on Fox, making it the most watched ARCA Daytona race in over 10 years. NASCAR has struggled with keeping viewership high in recent years, but these numbers prove one thing: people will tune in if they feel connected to the driver. Cleetus has built that connection through years of engaging content on YouTube, and now he's bringing that energy to NASCAR. The reason Cleetus stands out isn't just because he's a YouTuber. He's also a racer, an entrepreneur, and a car enthusiast who owns the Freedom Factory, his own racetrack. He built a brand around his love for cars, and millions of fans love him for it. Unlike many NASCAR drivers who come from traditional racing families, Cleetus is just a guy who loves going fast, and that makes him relatable. Fans see themselves in him, and that's something NASCAR has been missing for a long time. Recently, Cleetus appeared on Dale Jr.'s podcast, the Dale Jr. Download, where he revealed that he will be racing at Talladega in April, and that's huge. Talladega is one of the biggest and most legendary tracks in NASCAR. It's a track known for wild races, high speeds, and massive wrecks. If Cleetus can make a splash there, it could open even more doors for him. He also shared that his ultimate goal is to race in the Daytona 500. That's the biggest race at NASCAR, and if he makes it there, it would be a game changer. His first ARCA race at Daytona didn't go perfectly. He had a few incidents on track, but that didn't stop fans from cheering him on. In fact, the buzz around him only grew. Fans aren't just watching him because he's a great driver. They're watching because they're invested in his journey. They've seen him build his brand from the ground up, and now they want to see how far he can go in NASCAR. One thing that sets Cleetus apart is his understanding of how to engage an audience. He's been creating YouTube videos for years, and he knows exactly what makes people watch. In his podcast interview, he talked about the challenges of running a YouTube business. It's not just about making good videos, it's about knowing how to get people to click. The title, the thumbnail, the timing, it all matters. He compared it to a door. You could have the best video in the world, but if no one clicks on it, they'll never see what's inside. The same applies to NASCAR. You can have the best races, but if people don't feel connected to the drivers, they won't watch. Cleetus isn't the first driver to come from outside the traditional NASCAR path, but he might be the most influential. His presence shows that NASCAR doesn't have to rely only on drivers who come from karting or dirt racing backgrounds. The sport can grow by bringing in new personalities who already have massive fan bases. That's why Dale Jr.'s role in this could be so important. Dale Jr. understands NASCAR's history, but he also knows that the sport needs to evolve. If he believes in Cleetus, that could open doors that otherwise might have been closed. One of the biggest challenges for NASCAR in recent years has been keeping younger fans engaged. The sport has tried different things, new rules, new formats, even street races, but nothing's brought in young viewers quite like Cleetus has. His ability to mix entertainment with racing is exactly what NASCAR needs right now. His Daytona race proved that. When 70,000 people are watching live on YouTube just to see one driver, it's clear that something special is happening. Cleetus' journey into NASCAR also proves that there are new ways for drivers to get into the sport. Traditionally, young racers had to work their way up through go-karts, late models, and lower-tier series, all while securing expensive sponsorships. But Cleetus has done it differently. He built his own platform first, gathered millions of fans, and then used that influence to step into racing. That's a completely new approach, and it could change how future drivers enter the sport. Most drivers also take the traditional path. They start with go-karts, move to the late models, race in the Xfinity Series, and then make it to the Cup Series. Cletus is doing things differently. In the interview, he explained how YouTubers often put in a lot of effort for a video, only to see it perform badly. This can be discouraging, but he has learned to push through it. He said something interesting. He believes that when you work really hard on a video, it often becomes the worst performing one. For some reason, that's just how things work. He tells his team to expect ups and downs. One week might be the best ever, and then the next week might be the worst of the year. That's the reality of online content. 2 years ago, he made a big change to his channel. Before, he would just do fun stuff, record it, and post it. Now he thinks about the title and thumbnail first. Then he plans the content around it. This small change made a huge difference. His viewership went up because every video now has a strong hook. If an idea does not seem like a good title or thumbnail, he will not do it. Or he will include it in a bigger video with a better hook. This strategy has helped him grow even more. Cletus is not just racing for fun. He's serious about it. He's working hard to understand stock car racing. He is learning from experts and surrounding himself with people who can help him improve. Superspeedway racing is unpredictable. Anything can happen. Talladega is known for its high speeds and massive wrecks. It will be a huge test for him. If he does well, it could open new doors. He might get a chance to race in the Truck Series or even the Xfinity Series. His ultimate dream is to race in the Daytona 500. Right now, that might seem far away, but his growing popularity could make it possible. To succeed in NASCAR, a driver needs more than just fame. They need skill. They must be able to handle high-speed racing against the best drivers in the world. Cletus has raced on ovals before, but NASCAR is another level. The cars are faster, the competition is tougher, the pressure is higher, but that does not mean that he cannot adapt. With the right training and more seat time, he could develop the skills he needs. Some NASCAR drivers started with little experience. Ross Chastain is a good example. He worked his way up with hard work and determination. Cletus has one advantage. He is a natural driver. He has great car control and he's not afraid to push limits. If he gets a chance in a lower tier NASCAR series, he will gain valuable experience, and that experience could help him climb higher in the spot. NASCAR was not always a sport where every driver followed the same path. Many racers came from different backgrounds. Travis Pastrana came from motocross and rally racing. Jimmy Johnson started in off-road trucks. NASCAR has always welcomed drivers who bring attention to the sport, and Cletus is doing exactly that. His massive online following is something that no other driver has. That could be a huge advantage. Now, before you leave, don't forget to comment down your thoughts on this. And while you're down there, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well.